Hi, it's Lorraine Murray here from Connected Kids, and I am doing this short video to explain how meditation is really helpful if you're working with kids who are sometimes called being looked after kids or in the care system, because my other role in amongst the things that I do in teaching meditation is also about being a foster carer. So I had the pleasure of being with a young boy, 11-year-old boy who is on the autistic spectrum and who has been in the care system for a while. And I think often that when we learn to teach children meditation, there's this idea that we're just going to have all the solutions, we're always going to be ready, it's always going to work. And when any child comes into our care, it's not the first thing I do, which is teach them meditation. They can often be quite curious about it and they ask questions and I'll answer those. But really, the meditation practice is absolutely key to helping me cope with really challenging behaviour. And challenging behaviour isn't necessarily going to be, big tantrum or children swearing or being angry, which is sometimes I think what the reputation of kids in care might have when we talk about them having challenging behaviour. Challenging behaviour can be being really loud, repetitive, very questioning over and over again, repetitive behaviours, and obviously the young person we were looking after on the autistic spectrum, the repetitive behaviours can be linked to that. And we realise that any kind of transition and change can really trigger a young person and can make it very challenging for them to self-soothe and what would appear to be a calming way. So many of the things that we see them do and the way that they speak is their way of trying to self-soothe, although it doesn't appear to be to us. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to rebalance or reset themselves because it's very uncomfortable whatever they're experiencing. And we are relatively new carers for this young person, and the transition of coming to stay with us for a short while I think is always very challenging for children because the children in care really experience so much change. I mean, I am humbled by how they cope with so much change, considering many adults would struggle to do so. But my meditation practice is really key because there was a point when I was looking after him, not alone, but looking after him, where I just felt completely overwhelmed. I felt ungrounded, I felt overwhelmed, I felt myself being a bit reactive or about to be a bit reactive. And there's almost like two parts when you're being a foster carer. There's one part where you're going, I know that you can't help this and this is really challenging for you. And then there's another part which is going, oh my goodness, this is so hard. I just want to fix this, because it is really hard. And so the thing I did was I took myself away to another room, and I didn't even explain what I was going to do. My husband knows me really well. I took myself away and I just sat in this other room and I just concentrated on my breath, because I know from my own practice that just focusing on my breath and using that as my anchor, it calms down my nervous system, it helps me to just collect, it helps me to acknowledge what I'm feeling as well and to be okay with what I'm feeling, because often when we're in a really intense situation, we might have certain feelings and thoughts that we wish we didn't have, and it can make us feel very vulnerable and insecure that we're able to feel that, because we want everything to be just okay and perfect. But part of meditation is just actually acknowledging that. It's a great power, superpower actually, to be able to sit and recognize what you're feeling and to remind yourself that it is actually okay to feel that, because it's the feeling of it it helps process it. It's the resistance to it that creates all sorts of problems for us in terms of how we react and behave and what children pick up from us as well. So I did that. I just practiced my breath and I practiced feeling really uncomfortable with the feelings I was having until I felt I could go back through. It only took about maybe, I think, 3 or 4 minutes, and I went back through, and then I just was really almost vigilant, like a emotion detective, just watching myself and my breath and noticing what was triggering it as well. And I just felt it was really important to share that with you. Not all of you will have situations where they're maybe quite so challenging as that, but you will have something somewhere on the scale. And it was just to show you just how important it is to practice for yourself. And that feeds into how you teach children as well, because when you're teaching children meditation, and I actually did, can you believe, taught him a particular breath technique. We call it the expanding ball, and it's using a Hoberman sphere. And I showed him what to do with it, and he was practicing it and then spontaneously picking up and practicing it and using it. And you know, that is just fantastic for a young person to just know, whether they choose to do it or not, but know that that's available to them. So wanted to share this with you. Small steps, breath by breath. And if you've got any questions, please visit our website, teachchildrenmeditation.com. You're perhaps listening to this video through one of our Facebook groups. If you are, then just put a question underneath the post. You can ask away. Thanks for listening and keep up the great work. Bye for now.